finally getting some cost on Justin Trudeau's refugee rush. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. We've told you from the beginning that Justin Trudeau's rushed plan to bring over 25,000 Syrian refugees in short order was ill thought out. First off, they didn't even want to do any security screening until the public rose up and said, oh, what? Wait a minute. Then they decided to do that. Then they acknowledged that they couldn't bring in 25,000 in a month, so they made it over 3 months. But even that was going faster than communities could house these people, faster than the communities hosting them could process everything. There were calls for delays, slow it down a little bit. The government didn't want to do that. They wanted to show that they were caring and compassionate and bring people from Syria to Canada quickly, except the people weren't living in Syria. They were out of the country. They were out of harm's way. And it turns out they weren't even living in refugee camps. They were mostly living in houses and apartments, places like Amman, Jordan, or Beirut in Lebanon. Beirut is hardly a horrible place to be, and they could have stayed there a little bit longer and then had an easier process in Canada, but that didn't happen. Instead, Justin Trudeau rushed them here. Now, we've told you in the past, we've told you about the rush, the people caught in hotels, stuck there for months because there was nowhere for them to go, no housing available for them. Now, think of yourself and having young kids, as many of these mothers did, and being told you're going to stay in a hotel in the middle of a city or out by the airport and you've got nowhere to go, no connections with community. No wonder some said, actually, I want to go back to where I was. This is horrible. There were the high cost of the food, the $61 a day that we were spending to feed refugees. $1,700 a week for a family of 4 is what the hotels were charging. Imagine what that money could have done if it was actually given to the refugees. It could have housed them and fed them. But no, Justin Trudeau had to do his refugee rush his way. But now we've got some details on the hotel costs. One hotel in Victoria, British Columbia, actually charged $1 million for 1 month services. That's right. Check out. It's on the government website. $1 million for the 4-point Sheraton in Victoria. It's not the only high-billing hotel. There are others spread across the country. Let's give you just a sample. The Travel Lodge in Dorval. That's at Montreal's Trudeau Airport, $1.94 million. That's for work from December of last year to March 31st. The Quality Hotel at Dorval Airport as well, $2.5 million. $3 million for the Quality Hotel in Toronto at that airport. And then the Sheraton Guildford here in Vancouver, $2 million for 2.5 months worth of work. This has been a folly from the get-go. And you know what? I know some people think we shouldn't have taken any refugees. Some people think we should have taken more. Let's look at how it was actually handled. It was handled in a way that didn't benefit the refugee families in the way that it should have. Being stuck in a hotel for a long time, not having connections, not being able to set up routes, not being able to get the language training because the language training was handled by the same people trying to find housing, and they were swamped. Then there's the costs. This has cost the taxpayers far more than it needed to, and if the goal is to help as many vulnerable people as we could, then doing this in a slow, methodical way that didn't drive up costs, wouldn't that have allowed the government to help more people, whether on the ground in Syria or in bringing them to Canada? But it was never about helping people, was it? It was about Justin Trudeau and his vanity. Like so much with this man, it is about how he looked for the selfie, for the Instagram photo, for the TV news that night. That's what was driving this. His desire to look good, his desire to look compassionate. Whether it actually helped people, that's secondary. Many of these people are now left on their own. They're using food banks at this point. They are in areas where they have no connections, and the government's just let them be on their own. Why? Because the photo op time is over. These numbers on the hotel cost just show once again that this was an ill thought out plan done for all the wrong reasons.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.